Ammon. I am the most powerful among the princes. I can look into the past, foretell the future, and procure favors for anyone from anyone, be they friend or foe. This is Viaggio. She has the power to turn men into skillful mechanics, wise philosophers, and experienced scientists. And this is Malthus. He can build wondrous palaces, mighty towers, and can transform any man he meets into an accomplished craftsman.
Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place 1,000,000, and let our ciphers to this greater compt on your imaginary forces work.
Alessandro Mendini was one of the last great regisseurs of the bis modern empire. Like all prophets, he was both loved and hated, but he feared nothing and no one. His private acts were performed publicly, as seen when he removed his ritual architectural clothing to reveal an elusive mantle of irony.
Oh, do but think, you stand upon the rivage, and behold a city in the inconstant billows dancing.
aggressive shapes suggest the idea of a feminine style of architecture. This soft architecture wraps itself around objects. It absorbs them. It contains them, making them more similar to human beings, giving them the power to withstand the ravages of time, the physical and psychological drama of existence, and yet retain their fragility.
At certain times, a myriad of conflicting urges surface in our consciousness. The desire to go beyond the bounds of sanity. To betray ourselves, our family, and friends. Even to die. This, together with certain urgent existential questions, such as,
what is life?
And
what can I do with my life?
And it is at moments like this that we look inside ourselves and discover that we have created a golden prison. And indeed, we could define ourselves as architects and painters of golden prisons. For the key to our human condition resides in one small, four-letter word. Via. And that is why we strive to make a passing sigh triumph over the finality of death. Which is also why we, as architects, approach an object or a building as a fashion designer approaches a set of clothes.
To submit to the gloriously decorative nature of the world is merely to admit that men are incapable of coherent communication at a deep level. Men meet on the surface. Human communication is only skin deep.
only aim of painting is to communicate, to bear witness to our feelings. The reason behind any painting must shine through the love which it expresses. Its beauty lies in its transparent soul.
The problem with structure lies in the skin, for without skin, there is no structure. Whoever wishes to make a deep structure must first concern himself with superficial ornament, as this is the point of contact between man and the structure of matter. Favour symbolic designs.
Reject beauty gladly.
Look for security in ancient methods.
Try not to be a Nazi.
Never communicate everything.
Play for the sake of play.
Worship many gods.
Do not worship art. How can the common man fight against the multitude of images with which this performance society bombards him at every instant of his life?
He remembers that he had a house, or rather, something that was his home. But the turbulent affairs of everyday life made him forget this past existence.
We need to plumb the depths of our memories, from Kandinsky to Kitsch, to reawaken an awareness of the possibility of an existence outside our lives.
For man, furnishing a home is like sowing the seed of his inner self in the closed context of his most intimate living space, to create a sense of security felt on the skin.
Dare. Perdere identità, non misurare il tempo, ricordare quando, morire la vita, fare un sogno, non sapere più nulla, allontanare i lupi, trovare lo spazio, riempire l'intervallo.
Living in a space is a natural gesture until it becomes a design, a precise, lively, hospitable gesture.
Only those who do not repeat themselves, who are prepared to risk even their own lives, their work and their family, will triumph in the end.
Roger, 20.
think of death when it is impossible to find another way out. Only then do we realize that life does not exist alone. Its opposite also exists. The day will come when love, feelings, wealth, poverty, architecture, and objects cease to exist. But death is also a time of rest, a shelter from the anxieties of existence. Underlining this possibility in a design is tantamount to suggesting that it is possible to rebuild what has been destroyed.
Fully converted to Mendini's belief that the very act of creating an environment in which to live was man's highest work of art, his patrons dedicated their full production potential to these lofty purposes. Fueled by the conviction that to create a cultural artifact was a 24-hour pursuit, they dedicated themselves night and day to creating such artifacts that would leave their mark on the anthropological and aesthetic history of their times.
Pressed into daily forms and familiar colours, the objects of Alessandro Mendini were paradoxically full of evocative content, while disguising the real intent by parading caricatures of cultural travesties.
Even the creation of an object can become an act of redemption, if seen as the act of sacrificing one's identity for the world. This is why Alessandro Mendini placed such importance on his utopian vase, ideally created as a gift for anyone, a religious toy with which to celebrate our non-existent spiritual community in a world horribly scarred by the struggle for survival.
Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
bed, to bed. There's a knocking at the gate.
Come.
Come.
Come, give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone.
To bed.
To bed.